Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial series on PyScript. PyScript is the hot new technology announced earlier this month that allows us to write Python code and run it in the browser. That's right, Python in the browser is now possible. We are going to be doing a whole tutorial series on this technology, understanding how it works and how to build browser-based games and applications with it. In this first video of the series, we are going to build a simple Hello World web page using PyScript and understand the inner workings of PyScript. In the next video, we will build a tic-tac-toe game using PyScript. After that, we'll look at all the widgets that PyScript gives us and how to make PyScript integrate with JavaScript. This video is going to be a little technical as we examine the inner workings of PyScript. If you're only interested in using PyScript and don't necessarily want to understand all the nitty-gritties, then feel free to skip over to the next video coming up. There is a lot of content coming down the pipeline, so make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss anything. With that, let's get started with PyScript. What is PyScript? PyScript is a technology that allows us to run Python code on the browser with no installation required on the part of the end user. You can find out more about PyScript here on pyscript.net. It's very simple to get started with PyScript. Just a few lines of HTML code. Here, I have an empty HTML file. I'm going to add a script tag to load the PyScript.js file. That's it. Now we have PyScript available on this page. To use PyScript, I'm going to add a PyScript tag on the page and put my Python code inside that. Save the file, double-click the HTML and open it in the browser. Whoa! Our Python code has executed and the output appears on the screen. It's like magic. At this point, it is important to understand that the Python code is executed in the browser itself. There are many sites that allow the user to type code and run it. In all these sites, the code is taken from the browser and sent to a backend server. The code is executed on the backend and the result is sent back to the browser. That is not what is happening here. We don't have a backend server. All the code is executed right here in the browser. How does PyScript do that? We start with this tag, PyScript. This is not a regular HTML tag. Then what is it? This is what we call a web component. Web component is a browser technology that allows us to create our own HTML tags and use them in the page. This page on MDN has more information on web components. By the way, you can find all links to the various technologies in the description below. So here is what happens. When we load the PyScript.js file, it registers the PyScript tag as a web component. The file also registers many other custom tags as well. We will see them in action in future videos. Once defined, we can then use this custom tag in our HTML page and put our Python code in it. That isn't the end of the story though. How does PyScript actually run our Python code? For that, it needs to read the code here inside the tag and parse it and execute it. Usually we have a Python executable on our computer that will do all these steps for us. But how does that happen in the browser? The answer is that PyScript loads a Python interpreter software in the browser and uses that to run the Python code. It actually loads the full interpreter in the browser. How does that work? To understand that, we need to look at another technology, WebAssembly. WebAssembly, or WASM as it's known, is a technology that allows us to take code written in any language and use a special compiler that will compile it to the WASM format. The browser can execute any code that is in this WASM format. There is one popular compiler called Emscripten which can output to WASM format. The problem with Emscripten is that it only accepts C and C++ code as input, so we cannot use Emscripten to compile our Python code to WASM. The Python community has found a clever solution to this problem. You see, the Python interpreter that we download from python.org is written in C. So they took the code for the interpreter and used Emscripten to compile it to WASM. The result is Pyodide, a version of Python interpreter that can run in the browser. This is what PyScript does. It takes the code that is inside the PyScript custom tag and gives it to Pyodide to execute the code on the browser. Pyodide contains the Python interpreter, which knows how to run this code, and the output is given back to PyScript, which puts it on the page. And that's how we get Hello World displayed on the page here. A lot of pieces and technologies come together, and the result is Python code that runs on the browser.